This is DWAN 1206 AM, a member of the kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Ang susunod na programa ay rated PG. Patnubay at gabay ng magulang ay kailangan sa mga batang manonood.
Join us as we uncover the stories behind every game-changing moment with Bill Velasco. Get ready to dive into the heart of sports because it's time for your favorite sports step into the spotlight.
Isang napakagandang umaga po sa inyo lahat, teammates. Ito po ang Hardball with Bill Velasco. Ang oras po natin 11:01. Ngayon po ay Biyernes, March 13, 2026.
You're tuned in to Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Abangan mamaya makakasama natin live dito sa studio ang head coach ng FPU Tamaraws na si Sean Chambers.
This is Hardball with Bill Velasco.
At makakausap din natin mamaya si 1988 Olympic bowling gold medalist Arian Cerdena.
Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Bago tayo magpatuloy, sundan kami sa aming mga social media accounts sa Facebook, DWAN 1206 AM, sa YouTube, at DWAN.1206 AM, sa X, DWAN 1206 AM _ at sa Instagram at DWAN 1206 AM.
You're tuned in to Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Sa ulo na natin mga sports news ngayong Biyernes, Gilas Pilipinas Women na ungusan ng Germany sa FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2026 qualifying tournament. Iran Football Federation naglabas ng pahayag hinggil sa asylum ng 6 na miyembro ng kanilang football team sa Australia. Manager ni Heidelin Diaz kinwestiyon ang lifetime fuel supply na pangako ng isang oil company.
You're tuned in to Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Natalo ang Gilas Pilipinas Women sa Germany 113-80 sa FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2026 qualifying tournament sa France. Ito ang ikalawang sunod na pagkatalo ng Gilas Women sa torneo matapos kapusin sa host country sa kanilang unang laro. Maagang nakontrol ng Germany ang laban matapos magtala ng 35-25 na lamang sa first quarter at pinagpatuloy ang kanilang dominasyon. Pinangunahan ni Emily Bessoir ang Germany sa kanyang 25 points at 13 rebounds habang nanguna naman sa Pilipinas si Sumaya Sugapong na may 21 points at 4 assists. Susunod ang mga kalaban ng Gilas Women ng Nigeria bukas, March 14, bago harapin ng South Korea at Colombia sa mga susunod pang araw.
This is Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Naglabas ng pahayag ang Iran Football Federation matapos humiling ng asylum sa Australia ang 6 na miyembro ng Iran Women's National Football Team habang naroroon para sa AFC Women's Asian Cup. Dumating ang koponan sa Australia bago sumiklab ang digmaan sa Iran at natalo sa lahat ng kanilang 3 group stage matches. Bago ang kanilang unang laban kontra South Korea, hindi inawit ng mga manlalarong kanilang national anthem, isang hakbang na nagdulot ng malawakang atensyon sa international media. Ayon kay US President Donald Trump, 5 sa mga manlalarong nabigyan na ng asylum matapos ang pag-uusap niya sa Australian Prime Minister na si Anthony Albanese.
This is Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Nanalo si Wesley So sa American Cup 2026 matapos talunin si Levon Aronian 1.5 to 0.5 sa Grand Finals na ginanap sa St. Louis, Missouri. Nakuha ni So ang panalo matapos manalo sa 42 moves ng Italian opening sa Game 1. Dahil dito nakatanggap siya ng $90,000 o humigit kumulang 5.3 million pesos na premyo, kabilang ang $15,000 na bracket bonus. Bago ang finals, tinalo ni So sina Sam Sevian sa semifinal at si Fabiano Caruana sa final bracket. Ito ang unang titulo ni So sa American Cup at ikalawang tournament victory ngayong 2026 matapos manalo sa Tata Steel Chess India Open Blitz 2026 noong Enero. Susunod na lalahukan ni So ay ang Grenke Chess Festival 2026.
This is Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Inihayag ng manager ni Olympic gold medalist Heidelin Diaz na si Noel Ferrer na 2 taon lamang ang natanggap ng fuel support ng atleta kahit pinangakuan noon ng lifetime fuel supply ng isang local fuel company. Ayon kay Ferrer, walang nakasaad na kondisyon sa orihinal na anunsyo ng Phoenix Petroleum noong 2021 kaya inaasahan nilang tutuparin ang pangakong lifetime fuel incentive. Muling naging usap-usapan ng insentibo dahil sa pagtaas ng presyo ng langis sa buong mundo. Samantala, naglabas naman ng opisyal na pahayag ang Phoenix na natupad na nila ang kanilang commitment at nagbigay pa sila ng 5 million pesos cash donation at fuel support kay Diaz. Anila tumigil ang fuel donation arrangement matapos pumasok si Diaz sa kontrata sa ibang petroleum company kaya hindi na maaaring ipagpatuloy ang naunang usapan.
This is Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Medyo masalimuot itong issue na ito dahil siyempre ang alok naman ng Phoenix Fuel ay bilang pagkilala no, sa nakuhang gold medal ni Heidelin sa Olympics. Pero wala naman usapan na i-endorso niya no yung kanilang produkto, pero magandang goodwill gesture to. Sa akin lang ang tanging pagkukulang dito ay nung nagkaroon ng endorsement contract si Heidelin sa ibang fuel company, sana man lang sinabihan niya yung Phoenix para alam nila ang gagawin, no? Pwede nilang sabihin na baka gusto mo tapatan namin yung binibigay sa yung offer, o kaya sabihin nila kung ganyan ang wish mo as a corporate entity, hindi naman kami pwedeng pumayag. So they were not really given a choice in this matter. Okay? Kasi may naman, kumbaga parang na lang, parang respeto, no? Communication was missing in this situation dahil binigyan ka ng lifetime fuel supply, pero syempre negosyo din yan at pangit tignan na sinusupplyan ka ng gasolina pero ini-endorso mo naman ang iba pang kumpanya na kalaban nila, no? At pangit din tignan na yun ang ginagamit mong gasolina pero ini-endorso mo yung kalaban. So pati sa iyo makakasira rin yon. Parang mga ibang artista, halimbawa may ini-endorso silang soft drink brand, no? Nangyari na ito dati, tapos makukuhanan sila ng litrato o ng video na ibang brand naman ang iniinom sa publiko. So it's a matter of integrity and credibility that Phoenix is also trying to honor its commitment, but syempre negosyo yan parang parang respeto lang sa magkabilang panig. Dahil pangit din naman kung sikat kang atleta, binibigyan ka ng libreng gasolina ng isang company, tapos yun ang ginagamit mo, pero iba ang ini-endorso mo. So medyo, syempre, malilito yung ini-endorso mong kumpanya kung sincero ka talaga sa pag-endorse sa kanilang produkto. Pero sana naman maayos to dahil nobody is benefiting from this situation.
This is Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Nakatuon na ang focus ni Alex Ayala sa susunod niyang laban sa Miami Open matapos ang kanyang 4th round finish sa BNP Paribas Open sa Indian Wells. Natapos ang kampanya ni Ayala nang talunin siya ni Linda Noskova sa round of 16. Bago ito, tinalo ni Ayala si Diana Yastremska sa unang laban at umabante sa round of 16 matapos mag-retire si Coco Gauff dahil sa injury. May espesyal na kahulugan na Miami Open kay Ayala dahil dito siya nagkaroon ng breakthrough run noong nakaraang taon kung saan tinalo niya sina Yelena Ostapenko, Katie Hollanets, Madison Keys at Iga Swiatek. Mula sa ranking na number 32 ay naasang papasok si Ayala sa top 30 ng WTA rankings na may live ranking na number 28 matapos ang kanyang magandang performance sa Indian Wells.
This is Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Time out muna tayo sa ating pagbabalik. Makakasama natin ang head coach ng FEU Tamaraws na si Sean Chambers. Huwag kayong bibitiw, magpapatuloy pa ang
Hardball with Bill Velasco. Every headline has a story, and every story has a reason that you should know. Join Attorney Antonio Tony Ceriles in uncovering the whys behind the whats. Here on People Should Know from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Only here on the 1206 a.m.
Maging fuel efficient, siguraduhin na walang bagahe na di kinakailangan sa sasakyan. Magmaneho ng wasto at iwasan ang idling. May savings ka na aabot sa 15%.
This is a public service announcement from the Department of Energy and this station.
Magandang araw, si Dingdong Dantes po ito. Isa ang landslide sa mga sakuna na hinaharap ng mga Pilipino. Kaya naman importanteng alam natin ang mga senyales ng landslide na pwedeng makita sa ating lugar. Tulad na lang ng pagkakaroon ng bitak sa lupa o kaya naman ay pagtabingi ng mga puno at poste. Senyales din ang biglaang pagbukal ng tubig sa lupa at pagkulay putik ng ilog. Pwede rin magkaroon ng bitak sa inyong mga dingding, bintana at maging sa kalsada. Na-observe mo na ba ito sa paligid mo? #panatag ang may alam.
Maging panatag Pilipinas.
You're tuned in to Hardball with Bill Velasco.
At sa pagpapatuloy na ating programa, kinatutuwa kong makasama muli dito sa studio ang ating matagal ng kaibigan at isang matagumpay na manlalaro at coach walang iba, kundi si FEU Tamaraws head coach Sean Chambers. Good morning, Sean. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning, my friend. How are you? Glad to be back. And yeah,
you sound tired.
no, I'm actually good. It's everything is going well. I've been back home since the Gilas campaign, and so it's been good. Everything is going well.
Yeah. Well, how are the FEU Tamaraws now?
Well, right now we're in good shape. We returned all of but 3 players from last year's roster, and only one really played a lot for us. We had the Neil Owens, who was a one and done guy, came from California. So we returned back 90% of our offense. But with that said, we are no longer the young kids on the block now. Okay. You know, guys are going into their 3rd year. Our best player, John Ray, who was the MVP last year. We as a unit, we as a coaching staff, we have to understand that now we are the hunted. So we used to be the hunters. So I got up this morning, was thinking like, every day I must remind the guys that we must get better. We must improve on a different skill level, work on a different mindset to bring to the table this season, because we're going to have people really coming at us this year. You know, we're not the underdog. So, and I just took it back to my Alaska days. Like every year I came back, I wanted to improve on a different skill level and bring something new to the team and to the season. And that's how you remain successful. So you can't sit on your laurels.
How do you manage to keep the players around, because everybody's looking for players, you know, PBA, MPBL, all these other leagues?
Yeah, you know, and we're dealing with that with people who are trying to recruit some of our guys that are still have years to play. But I credit to FEU, long before I got here, we were a relationship-based program.
Nice.
And so, you know, relationship goes longer and further than money ever can, because that's going to last a lifetime. If you build the right relationship and you care for the kids, you love on the kids, and you put the kid, the university, and everybody else first, you're going to be able to maintain and hold on to those kids and maintain those relationships. And I think the fact that we grow from within, from our high school programs and our juniors program, the guys have been on our DWAN campus since they've been 14. That helps in so many ways. But at the end of the day, it's a new era. We still have to make sure we continue to recruit our guys and hold on to them.
Okay. Did anything surprise you last UAAP season?
No, not really. I felt that the teams that were the better teams last year made it to the Final Four. I did feel, though, we were close, and I did feel like we were in the fighting conversation, but I also knew we were young. But with that said, I thought the season was amazing. I will say this. I didn't think it would take 4 games for us to win our first game last year. So I think we actually went into our 5th game. But I wasn't surprised the way we finished with the 5-2 record. I think we won 6 out of our last 8 games or 9 games, something like that. So I wasn't surprised by that because I felt like we were always there. Like,
Yes.
the very first game we lost in overtime to Ontaneo was a game I felt we had. And we lost by 2 to LaSalle when we had a play at the end of the game to the overtime. And then our 3rd game, we lost to UP by 3. So I was not surprised that we were in those conversations, but I still felt we just needed to know how to win those games down the stretch.
Okay. How do you keep the players' confidence level up with successive losses?
It's a mindset because that with me, everything's a positive mindset and it's a growth matter because you actually get better if you treat it the right way from your losses.
Okay.
A lot of times it's hard to get the attention span there when you win, right? So with losses, eventually you have the attention span and you get the buy-in for guys trying to find out ways for you to help them to be successful. If you're successful all the time, they just think it's easy. It's kaya walang problema, So, and that's a dangerous place to be. So, just like the Alaska, I speak a lot about Alaska because I have Johnny there. Is like every year, what do we do to get better? We went on the stretch where when I came back, we won 5 Commissioner Cups in a row. I mean, Governor's Cup in a row. So you have to get better. You cannot rest. That championship is over. So when I'm telling John Ray right now, we had a couple of scrimmages, and I'm reminding him, John Ray Pasao, is that you're no longer the MVP.
Yeah.
That was last year.
Yeah.
So now what do you do to make yourself better than the guy that was there last year?
Okay. What are some of the things that you addressed, that you're addressing this coming season?
Well, it's the same we did last year. We're going to be stronger.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to play much faster. We're going to play quicker. And some of that comes with age. When we got them at 19 years old 2 years ago when I first started, now they're a 21, 22-year-old man. So you get your natural strength, your natural growth. And so some of the things I think are going to come naturally, but it also has to be with a mindset that we are not taking any game lightly. Every game is a must-win situation for us.
Okay. How about the preseason? You were speaking to me off the air about trying to balance not doing too much and not doing not enough.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge here in the Philippines because you don't want to play, to me, and this is where I grew up from in the U.S., you don't want to play your opponents 5, 6, 7 times in the preseason.
Yeah.
It's because you don't hold on to your secrets, right?
There's no mystery.
There's no mystery, and if you really think about the PBA, when you think about the PBA and some of the games that they have their scrimmages, at the end of the day, they're only playing each other once during conference now.
Yes.
They're not going back in the day when we played each other twice. So to have a scrimmage, I went and saw Magnolia play Talking Text. Well, that's just once.
Yes.
And they're not going to play yet but one more time in the league. Well, a lot of times here, the UAAP teams, I've seen situations where guys were playing each other 10 times in preseason, and I'm going, wow.
And
okay.
exhibitions also.
And exhibitions, that's what I mean, the exhibition game. So I'm trying to find the balance. Like, I do want to see them in part of our preseason, maybe once, twice, no more than twice, but I don't want to show my hand until the season comes. So, and then it's also a long preseason. So we're going pretty hard starting already in February and March. Mm-hmm. Our first game is not till the end of September. Diba? So it's a long stretch. So you gotta keep the guys engaged. You don't want to continue to do the same thing over and over again. So you have to come up with creative ways of keeping them engaged and make sure practice is meaningful and not just routine.
And they still study.
And they still study and go to class. Right? Yeah.
Boy, what a hard life you must have.
Yeah, well, it's a dream come true. So I don't mind it at all. Yeah.
So what are your expectations this coming season?
I expect every year. I talk to the guys like if we're not. It's like the movie. If you're not first, you're last, whether you're second or no.
Yeah.
So we are trying to win a championship. That's our goal since I signed with FEU, and I'm grateful that they've honored me with my contract. We guarantee my next 3 years of my contract. So from last year's season, so I'm really grateful to the Montanola family and everything they've done to empower me here and let me be a piece of the university. But from the beginning that I got here, my goal is to win a championship, and that doesn't change. So I know everybody says Final Four. That's great, but if you're reaching for the championship, Final Four has to be a must. So,
Yes.
of course,
It's
right?
a step in the process.
It's a step in the process. So we're looking to win, and I think we have a chance. I still think the two top teams are going to be the best, or still going to be strong, and I'm interested to see what NU does. But they had a lot of seniors last year, and UST has some really strong seniors on that team. But we know each team is going to reload. But I do like we come back with the continuity of knowing what the system is, knowing what our defensive plans is, knowing what our offense is, and so that should hopefully get us 10 to 12 more points a game.
Wow. You mentioned Alaska quite a lot, and it's good to make sure people remember. I saw an interview that Charles Chu did with Fred Uiteng. So what kind of memories did that bring back?
Actually, Joe Lastimosa and I just did an interview last Sunday, and it's
with
just
our friend Ray Hoble.
yes. So, Alaska, just what I mean by relationships and building a core and a love for one another, that never goes away. Like, you'll spend your money, you'll do this, you'll do that, and you win or lose games. But when you come back and you think about the relationship that we build, we are all still a tight unit.
Yes.
We're still a core. We have ultimate respect for Mr. Uitinsu, and me working with the national team has a lot to do with my relationship with Coach Tim Cone.
Yes.
And so
Still feel like the child of a divorce?
right, I still feel I'm split between the both of them, but they are very respectful men. Like, they never bring that to me. They let me have my relationship with Tim, and I have my relationship with Mr. Uitinsu, Fred, and I'm super close to both of them. That they're very dear to me, both of them. So but the Alaska dynasty still lives forever. And when I'm out in public and people see me out and about, and the first thing they say is Alaska, it's still like
Chumbers,
like Alaska, and then they go, "Well, I playing Tatalo, sa Alaska." So, I'm very grateful for everything that Alaska done for me, and because of that is why I'm here back in the Philippines today.
Yeah, the love never dies.
It never dies.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Gilas now. You one of your mantras is be a star in your role. What's your role on the coaching staff of Gilas?
I think really Tim really likes the ideal of me working directly with like Justin and imports that may be within the organization, and really it goes back to relationship building. Like, I'm really close with Kai Soto and Kevin and KQ and all the young guys, and I've just really that's just who I am. I just build a relationship with the young guys, and we just show them about what attention to detail really means, and what it really means to, and although I'm not Filipino, but I'm Pinoy at heart, but to play for the love of the country. And one thing that I can attest to as a player for Alaska, we've always played for the organization, the company, and people that were not on the court with us. So now, of course, by bazillion times, that's what we're doing for the national team and for the love of the Filipino basketball fans here. And so we constantly remind them that this is bigger than that. Remember yourself. Remember that when you step on the court and when you put on the Gilas uniform, this is bigger than just you. And when you're tired and when you don't feel like shooting and working out, like, this is for every Filipino that is in this country, outside of Manila to the provinces. Everybody's watching. So, so my role, and again, I know the triangle, I know the system, I know how Tim wants to play the game, and I also think I have a certain calmness, when it comes to just
Yeah, you're
chill, man.
Yeah.
You got to chill, and you work your best when you can have when your mindset is chilled and you're not over panicking, and so I can bring that to the table.
Okay. A course, people weren't happy with what happened with New Zealand and with Australia. What are some of the things that you and Tim and the rest of the coaching staff are looking to change?
Well, I don't think you want to do too much
Yeah.
change, and I don't think you want to go away from the plan that Tim has put in place of trying to build a core of guys that can, every time they show up, it's more like a team.
Yeah.
So, and I believe in that 100%. So that's the biggest thing is I believe in what he's trying to get done. That's huge. But I think the fans, of course, we would have loved to win that game against New Zealand. Of course, we would like to show better against Australia. But in the bigger picture, those games are not the important ones, right? So the important games are going to be the crossover after this next round when we go visit them. So when we have to go play against Iran, Iraq, and maybe Syria, that's our crossover. Those are the games that are the must-wins, and we match up much better to those teams than we'll ever do against Australia and we'll ever do against New Zealand. Although I do feel we are in the conversation with New Zealand. We lost that game by 3 points.
Exactly.
And we didn't play our best basketball, but we were there in the conversation. So, so at the end of the day, when you look at the bigger scheme, and I know everybody's reactionary, and everybody's a coach in some form.
Armchair coach. Yeah.
Armchair coach in Manila, but in the Philippines. But at the end of the day, the bigger picture of it is we've already qualified for the next round.
Okay.
That's first and foremost. And so now when we do the crossover against those other countries, that's when we need to be 100% and have all guns ablazing. And I think we're getting there.
Okay. So when will the preparation for that next round start in earnest?
We have the next home and away. We have the away series going back to New Zealand, Australia. That's going to be the first weekend of July. I believe July 7th and 9th, around there.
So what happens if you lose both games there?
We still qualify for the next round.
All right.
That's an already done deal.
Okay. So those are the games we can afford to lose.
Right. So
Not that we want to, but
not that we want to.
Okay.
We want to do well, but at the end of the day, because there is a carryover system with that.
True.
Okay. But if we were to put everything in perspective, those are probably the two best teams in all of Asia and all of the
Oceania.
The Oceania. They are the two best teams, hands down. Now, we expect, if we don't beat them, we expect them to win out no matter who they play.
Yeah.
And so now, the next round would be, I think it's November. That's when we start another home and away once we do the crossover. Okay. And so those are the definitely must-win games.
Okay.
Those are the ones that we need to win. So, again, we want to show well in July against Australia. We want to play well against New Zealand, and maybe we can sneak those games in. The fans in New Zealand, I tell you what, I've never seen anything like it the last time we were there. It was like something like 15,000 fans there at the game we were there last year, and I think they said something like 13,500 were Filipinos. It was amazing. It was an absolutely amazing show of support in New Zealand, in Auckland.
Yeah. What's that like?
It's
playing for a national team where basketball is king.
So it's really wild. So that trip last year was like mind blowing. So first we went to Qatar last year. It was in February. We went to Qatar, and we played in Doha. Mm-hmm. And they had an arena about like 6,500, 7,000 capacity. And when we showed up, it was madhouse. And it's almost like traveling like, almost like the Jackson 5s or the Beatles, or like even, the Bulls back in the days when they were just like a rock star show. Yeah. And so we show up to these arenas, and it's just Filipinos everywhere. And I mean, they're just so appreciative of us being there, win or lose. They don't care. It's just the fact that we're there, and they're such fans of the Gilos program. It's really like, it's wow. I can't even put it into words. It's so mind blowing. When we go to Qatar, in that place, as soon as we finished playing, there was a game after us.
Everybody left.
So then the game before us, there's nobody there. And then when they let all the Filipinos in for a game, just a madhouse, completely sold out. So we go there, capacity of 7,000. We go to Taipei directly after that, and it was a decent crowd, but over half the fans were Filipinos in Taipei.
Yeah.
Then we get to Auckland, and it's just literally 15,000 people. But they said it was 15,000 there, but they said about 13,500 were Pinoys. And it was the most incredible scene I've ever seen after the game. We lost that game, if you recall, by 20 points that first game in New Zealand. And when we were leaving the court, the crowd is just yelling, Gila, Gila, like mind-blowing. It was so loud. It was so amazing. So it's just, you remember, like when I say we're playing for the country, but it's outside of the country as well, right? How many overseas workers that we have
30
across?
million.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. It really is. And so, you know, I was asked to attend the FIBA World Cup draw.
Oh, yeah,
for the
I
country,
remember.
and such an honor. And that was funny because clearly there's a guy from Germany who looks like he's German. There's a guy from Japan who looks like he's Japan. And I'm with the guy from Korea who looks, he's Korean. And then everybody sees me with a Filipino sign, and the Filipino, they're going, tell me how that worked. And so I had to explain to them, you know, I had a long career in the Philippines, and so our other representatives were not able to make it to the draw. So they asked if I'd be willing to step in and attend, and I was like, absolutely. So such a funny story. Like, you know, you see the African representatives, and everybody looks like where they're from, and here I am representing the Philippines. And of course, nobody back home thought nothing different of it. Like, well, of course, why not Sean Chambers? Yeah, of course. So, and then the fans in Doha that saw me there, they were like, of course, you know, why did Sean Chambers not be here? So during the draw, all the Asian countries were begging for us because of our fans.
Oh, okay.
So, like, all the countries, whether they were Japan, Korea, Taipei, they were hoping we were going to be in their pool. So when we got in with New Zealand, Australia, they were the happiest. And also Guam, right? Because if you recall the game at Guam, sold out.
Yeah.
Sold out.
Well, Guam is Filipino.
Filipino. Sold out, right? And if you watch the game when Guam played New Zealand, Australia, empty arena.
Who cares?
Who cares? Who cares? So our fans definitely travel well. They're all over the world, and they all follow the Gilas program. So, you know, with that, it's just an honor to be a part of it for myself. So, again, that whole draw was amazing. And then the last thing that was pretty funny, after the draw was over, we're walking out of the big assembly building. There's about maybe 50 Filipinos outside.
Okay.
Screaming for me, wanting to take pictures. And so, again, all the other country representatives were going, who are you? They're like, who are you? I don't get it. And so I kept saying, you know, it's a long story. I said, I've lived there now. I coached university, but I had an amazing basketball career there with some of the best guys that ever played in the game were my teammates.
Best fans in the world.
And the best fans in the world.
Okay, one last question before I let you go. Looking ahead, are there any players the coaching staff of Gilas is looking at to add to the team, like a Mike Phillips or somebody else?
Yeah, we're grateful that Mike Phillips got added to the pool, but of course we're gonna be open to like anything that's gonna help us be better, maybe get a little bigger in certain spots. But again, I think you got to be careful of trying to revamp so much because when you're teaching a triangle and you're teaching,
takes time.
It takes time, and then you're teaching some of the, more importantly, the defensive schemes, like how we're switching or showing and things like that on pick and roll defense. You know, you got to be in sync.
Yeah.
And so when guys come back to camp and we do the camp on Inspire in Laguna, it's cool when you can call out a scheme and you call out a plan of what we're doing, and everybody understands the lingo, right? Because it's basketball lingo. Every team has their own different lingo.
Yeah.
Well, if you keep trying to bring in different bodies and different guys, then it's ground zero again. And so we had guys that played well, but sure, Juan was a great addition. We think he's going to only get better after his first tournament. And remember, too, QNB, this is really only his third game with us. So actually fourth, 2 with Guam, which were, okay, we felt like those were must wins, but games we should win. But now, games that were actually matter with a high intensity, that's really only 2 games he played with us.
Sure.
So he's going to only get better. And same with AJ. You know, AJ is only going to get better. So those young guns are really coming along. But there's always going to be open mindset, right?
Yeah.
If anybody can help us for sure, without disrupting too much of the flow, what we're doing right now.
Thanks so much, Sean. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you coming over.
Yeah.
Thank you
One
so
last thing I have to
Yeah.
say. I had a conversation that we were talking about in the interview we did last Sunday, and I'm a firm believer they need to bring back the Hall of Fame vote for the PBA because they need to get Alaska guys in there.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Absolutely.
There's got to be an
Absolutely.
Alaska guy in the Hall
Yeah.
of Fame.
Recognized game, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll be the first to vote.
There you go. I know
Alright.
you will.
Thank you very much, Sean Chambers po. At magpapatuloy ang ating programa. Makakausap naman natin ang 1988 Olympic bowling gold medalist na si Arian Sardegna. We'll be back with more of
Hardball with Bill Velasco. Headlines everywhere. Pero ano nga ba ang totoong nangyayari sa Senado at Kongreso? Get the real story, minus the headache. On Session Unplugged, hosted by Daniel Manalastas and Earl Tobias, breaking down the week's biggest hearings, hottest bills, and most talked about issues. In plain, everyday language. Quick, clear, conversational. Session Unplugged, every Friday, 8 to 9 p.m. on DWAN 1206 a.m. Pangarap mong maging milyonaryo? Sa PCSO Lotto, magkakatotoo. Mas pinasaya, mas pinabongga, mas pinalaki ang mga jackpot prizes. Araw-araw ang bola. Kaya more chances of winning sa PCSO Lottery Draws. Lunes hanggang Linggo, tuwing 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m. You're tuned in to Hardball with Bill Velasco.
At ngayon naman, nagbalik sa Pilipinas ang isa sa ating mga pinagpipitaga ng bowler. At kung alam ninyo ang kasaysayan ng bowling, ay hindi pwedeng hindi mabanggit ang pangalan ni Arian Sardegna. Arian, good morning and welcome back to the show. Arian, are you there?
Yes, I am here. I am here. Hi,
Okay.
how are you?
Mabuti naman. What brought you back to the Philippines?
Do you hear me?
Yes, now
Bill?
I hear you. So, anong
Hi.
nagdala sa'yo rito pa uwi?
I miss my friends. And,
Okay.
tsaka, I need to do some things, errands some errands. Family errands.
Okay. Nakita kong yung mga litratong pinost mo about meeting Tito Sen was
Oh, yeah.
who actually
Yeah.
owned the record here in Celebrity Sports Plaza for a very long time, and of course your dear friend Bongku. What's that like when you reminisce about the old days?
Ay, nako. Actually, sa totoo lang, Bill, I had my birthday here. I celebrated
Yes,
my
oo.
birthday here. And kwento-kwento kami ni Bong. And next year, sabi kong ganun kay Bong, sa Southeast Asian Games, sabi ko, Bong, I miss bowling. I miss to be a part of the bowling team. Sabi kong ganun, pwede bang makasama sa Southeast Asian Games next year? Sabi ni Bong sa akin, why not? Sabi ko, yeah, please, sama mo naman ako para I miss the fun. Gusto kong ma-feel ulit na to be in the team, to be part of the team. Not as a player, of course, but to be in the delegation, to be part of the team, to to maybe to help the team to win medals, in my own little way
Nice.
to,
Have you looked at the current crop of bowlers ng Pilipinas? Is there anything different from when you guys were still active?
you're putting me in a spot, Bill. there's a not a big difference, but there's a difference between before and now. Of course, there's a difference, and but I don't know. Maybe there's a difference. Of
Okay.
course, there is a difference. Before, um, we used to listen to our coaches.
Okay.
There's only one coach, and even though nandyan yung mga, I started in bowling when I was young. I was in the Philippine Junior Bowlers when I was 17 years
Yes.
old. Kahit na nandyan ang father ko as my coach too, hinahayaan ako ng father ko na to let the head coach train me. Ngayon, kung merong nakikita ang father ko, he would train me on the side.
Yes.
Pero hindi nakikialam ang father ko during the training habang tinitrain ako ng Philippine team. Kung meron siyang nakikitang iba na gusto niyang anihin sa akin, ibago sa akin, he would pull me aside. Not during the training of the Philippine team. Ngayon kasi masyadong marami ng
Marunong.
Oo, eh. Yun ang, I don't know. Ayun na nga, mapapahamak ako, Bill, sa sinabi kong yan.
Napapaaway ka.
Oo, mapapaaway ako. Hindi ganun kami nung araw. We only, medyo siguro sa disiplina, iba disiplina namin nung araw sa disiplina namin, sa disiplina ngayon. Ibang klase. But I believe that the discipline before was better than, ewan ko, siguro nga, iba culture noon, iba culture ngayon. And every time me and Bong talk, even me, Bong and Paeng, pagka nag-uusap kami, iba. Pagka nag-uusap tonight, makikita kami ni Paeng. Siyempre, nire-reminis namin yung past namin.
Of course.
And pagka nag-uusap kami, siyempre, sinasabi namin yung mga heydays namin noon na panalo na namin. Iba. Na pagka sasabihin namin, yung araw, Southeast Asian Games, mag-uwi ka ng ganyan. Ng bronze. Naku. Ngayon, parang bronze, it's a big deal already. Samantalang noon tayo, bronze. Wala. It's nothing.
How about internationally, are there countries that got much stronger over the years? Are there countries that have been surprising in bowling internationally?
Yes, they did. Maybe because they have been more active now than before. At saka ang technology rin. Nag-adapt na sila sa technology.
I see.
Kasi ngayon bowling is more of technology na. Hindi na kagaya nun. During our days, it's more of skill.
Yeah.
Ngayon more of technology na yung bowling, the bowling balls na ang plays a big part. Noon hindi. Remember nung nagbo-bowling kami noon, ginagamit lang namin plastic rubber ball. Now hindi na, urethane na. Tapos they play with so many bowling balls. Pagka pumupunta sila sa competition, ilang bowling balls ang dala-dala nila. Kami nung araw, I remember, 4 na bola lang ang dala namin. And we have to make do with what we have. Ngayon, hindi na ganun. So, technology really plays a big part of bowling. And yung mga countries na, mayayaman na countries na can has the money to buy the equipment, syempre, meron silang, kumbaga, llamado sila doon. Meron silang, ngayon, yung kagaya nga, like Vietnam, Myanmar, medyo lamang tayo doon. Pero yung kagaya ng Malaysia, Singapore, who has the money to buy equipments, sila ang medyo may advantage sa atin. But as far as manpower, meron tayong manpower, Bill. Kaya lang the mindset ng players natin and the heart, yun ang sinasabi ko kay yun. We talked about this. It's the heart. Sometimes it's yung muna manalo. Kasi Bill, nung araw naman, wala namang ganyang incentive.
Totoo.
What the government is giving now. Well, hindi kami binibigyan ng ganun before, but in spite of that, we were winning gold medals before. It's the mindset na yung heart namin na talagang gusto naming manalo. And yesterday, we were with si Tito Sen yesterday, and former PBC President Steve Ontiveros. I don't know if you remember him.
Of course.
We were talking, and then he said, nung araw, pag pumunta ang Philippine team sa isang tournament, I can promise you that the Philippine team will win 4, 5 gold medals pagka lumabas ang Philippine team. Ngayon, magpangako ka ng 2, nakakatakot. sabi ni Steve Ontiveros, nakakatakot mag-promise ng 2 gold medals. So, nagtatawanan na lang kami,
Kasama ba doon, Arian, yung wala nang sindak? Hindi na natatakot yung mga kalaban?
Posible. Posible. Pero don't get me wrong, Bill, na meron tayong material,
Yes.
pero sasabihin ko sa iyo, yung heart, yung puso nila, iba yung kami noon, sila ngayon. Marami siguro sa technology. Yung nakikita ko kasi yung pagka nagte-training sila, pagkatapos tumira, ito na, nasa telepono na. Nung araw, walang telepono, di ba? Walang cellphone. Pagkatira namin, mali yung tinira namin, iisipin namin, anong pang ginawa kong mali? Paano ko ba i-correct? Ngayon hindi. Pagkatira, mali yung tinira, nandun na sa telepono.
Baka pinopost na.
Posible.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh.
At papapahabak ako sa mga sinasabi ko.
Tanong ko lang. Ano tawag dito? Siguro, Arian, on the positive side, ano ang gusto mong mangyari? Matuloy ka next year, maging bahagi ka ng SEA Games team. Anong gusto mong mangyari para sa Philippine bowling? Para medyo umangat-angat at dumikit man lang dun sa good old days.
To change. I want change. Gusto ko, sinasabi ko yung kay Bong Although Bong is a commissioner, so she has nothing to do with the Philippine team.
Yes.
So, nag-uusap, mga nakakausap ko, we need change. Sabi ko na sometimes we need to take, we have to take, a bitter, change is a bitter pill to swallow, but we have to take it. Yung change natin na, okay, magbago tayo. Alam ko pagka nagbago na we might not win medals. Take it. Pero in the long run, mananalo rin tayo.
Yes.
Hindi ba, Bill? Ang gusto ko mangyari kasi, okay, ayaw nyo, ayaw nyo sumunod sa ganito, di wag kayo, kukuha kami ng bagong crop na susunod sa amin, na susunod sa dapat gawin, gusto ng asosasyon, ng Congress, or whatever, federation, na mangyari para tayo makaproduce ng medals. Tapos, we have to take risk.
Okay.
Sa akin, we need to take risk. Kasi kung hindi tayo ng risk, wala, galito na lang din ang ganito. We've been doing this for so many years. Walang nangyayari. I think we need change. I don't know if you agree with me or not,
Of course.
pero I think we need change. And we have to start now. Because if we don't change, galito ng ganito, walang mangyayari.
Personally, if you were to end up coaching the Philippine team, let's say to the SEA Games, ano yung mga gusto mong ituro sa mga batang player ngayon?
Ang gusto ko kasing mangyari is let the coaching staff do their job. Walang makikialam. Let them do their job because they want the players to win medals for the country. Huwag mo nang makialam yung mga ibang tao. Now, if the parents wants to do their, I know the parents want the best for their kids. I know that. Ganun din naman din ang magulang ko nung bata ako eh. No? They want the best for their kids. But do that at their own time. Huwag lang makialam during the training.
Hindi naman sila
Because
ganun eh.
during the
Marunong.
training, it's the Congress or the Federation that spends for their training.
Yes.
Now, if the parent wants to do something with their kid, do that in their own time. Pay for it. Hindi ba?
Yeah. Oo.
Ganun ang ginagawa ng parents ko sa akin noon eh. Hindi naman din kami mayaman, Bill eh. Pero dahil gusto ng father ko na, for me to excel, ginagawa ng father ko yun. Ang nangyayari kasi, parang nasasatisfy na tayo, ang Philippine team nasasatisfy na sa bronze medal, sa silver medal. Hindi kami ganoon dati. We wanted the gold. We crave for the gold. Where we were not satisfied for silver and bronze during my time.
That I understand. Thank you so much
Diba?
for your time, Ariana. I know you have a very hectic
Thank
schedule
you.
and have a safe flight back to the US. And by the way, regards to Paeng.
Thank you. Yeah, I will tell him. I'll see him tonight. Thank you.
All right. Maraming
I
salamat.
will.
Si Arian Cerdena po ang ating national team multi-titled 1988 Olympic bowling gold medalist. At yan po ang ating programa para sa araw na ito.
Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Pero bago tayo magtapos, lagi ko kayong inaanyayahan na tangkilikin, no? Like, share, subscribe at follow na rin sa ating mga online sports channel, ang Basketball Universe PHL at ang Secret Sports Stories. Bukas po, bagong episode sa Secret Sports Stories. Mamayang gabi naman sa Basketball Universe PHL. Alay po namin sa mga atleta.
You're tuned in to Hardball with Bill Velasco.
Yan ang ating programa para sa araw at linggong ito. Muli, ang Hardball ay masusubaybayan tuwing Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 11 na umaga hanggang alas 12 ng tanghali. Dito lang po yan sa DWAN 12:06 AM. Susunod na, Showbiz Authority. Ako si Bill Velasco. Magkita-kita po tayo muli sa Lunes.
Para